Good afternoon. How we doing today, folks? This is Afternoon Chat. I'm your host, Ghost Mostly. The chat is up and running. What's on your mind today? Okay. The rules are pretty simple. Can talk about anything you want to talk about, as long as we stay within the community guidelines established by YouTube. Yeah, don't get us in no trouble with YouTube. Okay. What's on your mind? It's Thursday. We got football going on tonight. Anybody planning to watch a game? I'll be watching with Tom Grossi on YouTube later. Personal preference. I think Tom's funny. So I watch him. I've had a pretty good morning. I got up, went to breakfast with my father, had a nice visit, came home, took an hour nap. I like taking naps. I'm sorry, I'm an old man. A good nap is marvelous, in my opinion. That's all I can offer you. So in case you're new to the channel, Afternoon Chat is a 100% free show. The people in the chat are the actual stars of this free show. They determine what we talk about. If no one gets in the chat, then we're stuck with just me, and whichever way my strange little mind wanders off for the next 2 hours. There's no midstream ads. There's no sponsors. There's no commercials of any kind. I do ask people to like and subscribe, but that also is free. If you need to enable the chat on your television, hit the top of the plus sign here and go up and enable live chat. Then as people chat, it will scroll up to the screen right next to my shoulder. In order to be able to chat, you need to go to YouTube and you need to download their Discord app on another device, a phone, a tablet, a computer. Most of the TVs now, I don't think they can do it yet. Maybe if you got the latest TV with all the bells and whistles, you can, but I can't. So most people, I think, just use their phone. $100% free. I won't ask you to do anything that'll cost you money. I'm not trying to hustle you. I'm not trying to manipulate or control you. I'm not running for political office. Okay. I have no interest in coming out with a line of merch. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I have no interest in becoming an online influencer. You won't find me on any other platforms other than YouTube. I'm not on X. I'm not on Blue Sky. The only thing I'm doing is I'm doing a live stream, live chat on YouTube, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is an inclusive show. Everyone is invited. I don't care where you're from. I don't care what you do for a living. I don't care what religion you are, what race you are, what age you are. Everyone's welcome. So far, it's kind of quiet, but you never know. People can jump in the chat at any time. It's a 2-hour show. I have no agenda planned. Not today, not any day. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about. I talk about football most shows, but I'm a football fan, a pro football fan. I root for the Lions. They're on a bye week, so they're not playing this weekend. Hopefully they're home healing up. Okay. Our team's pretty beat up after 7 weeks of the NFL season. I smoke cigarettes and pot. I don't recommend that you do either. Marijuana is legal in Michigan. That's where I'm from. I never would ever recommend anyone break any laws, ever. The fact that I'm not perfect is your proof that I am not AI. Okay, I'm a real person. I've technically invited the world into my living room to have a conversation, but the only perspective I can give or share is one guy sitting on one end of his couch. Okay. I would love to hear your perspective. I'd love to hear your priorities. What do you want to talk about? That's the whole idea with an open chat. There's no set subject. There's no structure to the show. The only structure that you can depend on is that I'm going to be here Monday through Friday from 3 to 5 Eastern. It's kind of chilly and rainy. I think basically a typical fall day here. It was in the 40s this morning when I went to breakfast. I'm sure it's warmer now, but I'm not going to open the door to find out. After the stream, I generally like to go for a walk, stretch my legs. Oh, after sitting for 2 hours. I smoke a bowl, I go for a walk, stretch my legs, clear my mind. I have a very slow-paced, boring life compared to many. My life didn't used to be boring, but it's boring by design now. I spent most of my adult life living in Las Vegas, Nevada, constantly on the go, constantly busy. I basically tried to cram 30 hours worth of activities into every 24-hour day. In those days, I cut myself short of sleep. Okay. I don't do that anymore. My lifestyle is totally different now. I got one speed. I call it if and when. It's mellow compared to most. I appreciate everyone that views the show, but I'm not going to try to sell them anything. I know, it's really bizarre. I hustled all my life in Vegas. Not only was I working in the casino industry, I always had a side gig or two going on. Not anymore. Now I'm retired, except for 5 days a week, 2 hours a day. If you want to talk about something that I don't know anything about, we're welcome. I'll tell you. If you want to talk about something I do know about, I'll offer my opinions. But the show's not about me. I'm not supposed to be the star. I'm just a ghost. I mean, am I really here? I don't think so. Well, when people get into the chat, they're going to be in control of this show. They're going to determine what we talk about. Once the chat is populated, we'll be able to do other things. We can take polls, find out your opinion on different topics. But without the chat populated yet, it's just me. And we're relying on YouTube to populate the chat. They'll figure this show out eventually. Their algorithm will sort us out. And eventually they'll get us in front of the people that we need to be in front of. For right now, it's just me and those of you that are watching. I'm not going to make this show about any one topic. Most of the shows that involve live chat nowadays have a specific topic they want to talk about. I don't want to do that. Well, what topic would you like to talk about? Jump in the chat, give us a topic to discuss, and we'll see where it goes, see where it leads. And if it's up to me, I'm just going to wing it. I'm just going to let my mind wander. Wherever it goes, it goes. I'm just starting my daily Gatorade. Those of you know that follow the show would know that my doctor told me I needed more electrolytes, so I added some electrolytes to my afternoon regimen. Well, the older you get, the more you listen to the doctor. Okay. Well, you'd kind of like to get a few more years added on, you know. When I was young, I didn't listen to any doctors. Okay. I used to tell them to pound sand. But now that I'm older, I listen. Pay attention. Sometimes I even take notes. I hope you guys are having a good week. Outside here in Michigan, the trees, the leaves are starting to change colors. Some of them are falling off. It's a real pretty time in Michigan this time of year. Once all those leaves are gone, then we got snow coming. After 33 years in Vegas, snow is a nice change of pace. As long as I don't slip in it, I'm fine. As far as the temperature, I just keep on putting on layers until I'm warm. I'm not going to catch a chill. It's, that's just the way it is here. Well, I stay indoors a lot in the winter too. I don't partake in all the winter activities. I don't go to the ski resorts anymore. I don't snowmobile. I don't ice fish. I don't hunt. As a young man, I used to do all of those activities. It was fun. But now I'm pretty much a homebody. I mean, I go out, socialize with family and a few friends. It's it's nice. I do a Tuesday morning breakfast with family that I enjoy a lot. Get a chance to touch base with people, find out about their grandkids, and keep them informed about mine. You know, pardon me. So, what's on your mind? If you don't like the subject I'm talking about, all you got to do is jump in the chat and change the subject. Okay. There's no charge. You don't have to just agree with me in order to have a discussion. I talk to people that disagree with me too. Okay. No, it's okay to disagree. It's even okay to dislike. I did a show Monday on hate. I think I went on for almost 2 hours about it. But I don't hate anyone. It's the opposite. I like people. Personal preference. I worked with the public in the table games in the casinos for 33 years. I probably met 100 new people every week, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much that in my retirement, I missed it, and thus I created this show so that I could meet people again. That's all I can do is my own, what goes through my own mind. I'm actually waiting for the people in the chat to suggest things that I can do with Ghost Mostly Media that I created when I got into this project. Ghost Mostly was left over from when I used to have a band. I had a band and we wrote quite a few songs. I think 22 songs in the first year. And I didn't want them to owe me any credits. I wasn't a member of the band, but it was my band. Okay. But we wrote a lot of songs, and that's where I came up with the moniker Ghost Mostly. And then when I decided to do this project, I thought, well, I'll just take the same name and pull it forward. I think it's got a little ring to it. Personal opinion. The media company, I'm going to do other projects and things that will make me money, hopefully, but not this show. This show is always going to be free. When I decided to do this show, I made a commitment to myself that I'd do it for 3 years. It's hard to build a following. It's hard to find all the people, especially when you're not on the other platforms. I have no intention of ever getting on any of the other social media platforms. They don't interest me in the least. I do, however, need to get the channel monetized at some point so I can make money on YouTube. I was discussing with my father this morning at breakfast. It's very exciting. I'm not sure what all I want to put on TV. I got a lot of ideas running through my head. but nothing's etched in stone. I don't have any real rush. YouTube has made this super easy. Well, I already had the internet. I was already watching YouTube, and my laptop was sitting right there on the table. And I'm like, well, everything's designed by Google. Should all work. So I plugged it in, hooked it up, and ta-da. The overhead for this channel is $13.99 a month. It's cheap. That's why this is a free show. I can fade the $14. We're okay. Okay. I got this. Yeah, it's a business, and yes, I would like to make money someday, but I'll be posting other things down the road. I'll be coming up with other projects. I was actually even thinking about coming up with other chat shows with, other hosted chat rooms. And I'm not talking about with myself, but with other people. We'll see how long it takes to get this one popular. If there were 100 people in the chat, we'd be doing fine. But when it's just me, it seems ridiculous to expand. Okay, so we'll see. I'm looking forward to talking to the chat and finding out what people are interested in, what they want to see. I mean, basically, I can do anything I want. Never had this kind of power. Well, the power of being able to put things on television and get a worldwide audience is what I'm talking about. It's kind of exciting. I've had, we're probably, almost 2 months into this. I started on my father's birthday. I started on August 25th of this year. And what are we on the 23rd now or something? So almost 2 months. We've had a few people in the chat, but I'm not sure if I've got this thing listed in the right category. I don't know who YouTube is putting us in front of. It'll all work out in the end. Okay. Let's be optimistic. It's all going to work out the way it's supposed to. You don't want to sweat it. Don't want to worry about nothing. Stress is killing people all over our planet. You don't need stress. So I'm refusing stress. No, thank you. Had mine while I was young, when I was raising kids. Don't need it now. I'm not sure it ever accomplished anything anyways, worrying about all that crap. My attitude has changed totally now. I'm at the point where I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I don't have a strong enough feeling to call it even an opinion on most things. I am watching the news this week. I did not watch the news all of last week. Well, I believe, personal opinion again, I believe that sometimes you need to self-censor and just not intake all the negative information. Negative information, you mean like these clowns that shut down the U.S. government? Okay. It seems absurd. Could you imagine if you or I walked into our employer and said, Uh, let's shut this sucker down. I'm going to take a 2-week vacation. Our boss would fire us on the spot, right? No, we're not shutting down. We're shutting you down. Okay. Well, these clowns are collecting a paycheck and they're on vacation. They're not working. They, I know I say this all the time, but morally and ethically, these people are deficient. They don't adhere to the same minimum standards that you and I do. Well, I don't think any of them can work a 40-hour week. Okay. I really don't. How can you just shut your job down? Well, I believe that we need to solve this problem by voting all of them out of office. Well, the Democrats will tell you that it's the Republicans' fault. The Republicans will tell you that it's the Democrats' fault. I'm going to sit here and tell you it's all of the above. It's all of their faults. If they could learn to work together, we wouldn't have an issue. They can't work together. That's the problem. So we just vote them all out. No more incumbents. Let's just get all new people. At some point, you just got to flush them and start over from scratch. You got 100 U.S. senators refuse to do their job. Got 435 members of the House that refuse to do their job. Next. And oh yeah, throw the president and vice president in the mix too. Next. I don't care whether you like them or not, vote them out. They're not doing the job. Okay. It's pretty basic. If you can't do the job that you were put in office to do, you got to go. 537 clowns. That's who decided to shut down the U.S. government. 537 clowns. That's the way I see it from my perspective, sitting on my end of my couch. Okay. If you and I didn't do our job, we'd get fired instantly. We can't fire these clowns instantly, but we can vote them all out of office. We got an election coming up next year. Bye-bye, guys. You screwed up. You're out of here. Just take an ink pen, write it in the palm of your hand. Next. Okay. Doesn't matter who. They either do the job or they don't do it. Plain and simple. These clowns, they're not doing the job. These clowns all got to go. No, don't keep one. Don't keep two. Flush the whole toilet. Okay. They're bad. Incompetent. Okay. But yet they're still getting paid. Yeah, they're getting their paychecks. There's something inherently wrong with that. Okay. In my opinion. That to me, that just seems ridiculous. If I closed down my work, I wasn't getting a check. Okay. That's all I'm saying. I've lost patience with them. Well, it's just one fiasco after another with these guys. I don't care whether you're Democrat or Republican. You should be pissed off. They're not able to work together to do the job. If try going into your job and refusing to work together with your fellow workers. Not going to happen. Somebody's getting the boot, and it's not going to be those. It's going to be you. You know, that's the way it works in the real world. These politicians, they all got their own agenda. It has nothing to do with anything real. Near as I can glean from looking at the entire picture, the whole reason that this shutdown is taking place is to hide the Epstein files. What's in the Epstein files? The truth. Okay. Epstein was a criminal. He was grooming young girls and then selling them for sex. He was a pimp. A pimp gets paid. Who paid the pimp? That's what we in America want to know. Who was paying? That will tell us everything we need to know. There's a paper trail on every human being on this planet. Your banking history is a book on your life. If they run my financials, they find out where I get my money. If they run your financials, they find out where you got your money. So let's see Epstein's financials. Who was paying the pimp? I don't care whether they were sleeping with a 21-year-old prostitute or if they were sleeping with the groomed child at 17. Makes no difference to me. I want to know who was paying the pimp. Yeah, I'm sorry that these guys think it's okay to try to hide this information, but it can't go away. It's always going to. Can you make your banking records disappear? No. I can't make my banking records disappear. The paper trail's there. There ain't nothing they can do about it. They're covering it up. They don't want to show it, but they're going to have to show it. Eventually, it all comes out all the time. Think about it. As we get older, we keep finding out, oh, back in the day, so-and-so was sleeping with someone. I didn't know that at the time. But now, oh, it makes sense. Yeah, now I understand. It always comes out in the end. We always find out in the long run. Oh, JFK had a relationship with Marilyn Monroe. We didn't know it at the time, but oh, we all know it now. Hello. Okay. The Epstein's financial records are always going to be in existence, even though he's dead. Those financial records are a tell-all. Let's find out who was paying the pimp. The reason they're hiding this information is because most of them were paying the pimp. Okay. It's the guilty people that are doing the cover up. They don't even want to have a House vote to show who wants to open up the files and let the public see. And they don't want us to know who doesn't want to open the files to let the public see. As this works out in American history, right? We're going to find out a bunch of disgusting things. Heinous crimes. Excuse me. It'll come out in the wash. We're all going to find out about it eventually. Eventually, they're going to open it up and they're going to say, well, so-and-so paid Epstein. We're going to find out. It's going to happen. Just a matter of time. All of these clowns, they can't. It's the cover-up that buries them even deeper. Okay. They think they're smart. They think they're being crafty. They think, oh, I'm more devious. I can hide that. No, you can't. Well, somebody at Wells Fargo or somebody at Chase is just going to print it out. They're just going to publish it. We're going to find out who paid the pimp. These clowns may as well fess up to it and then run away like a scalded dog like Prince Andrew, right? These guys, they do not have the same moral or ethical standards that you and I live by. They just don't. You and I would never consider doing something like that. Never even cross your mind. But these guys, they live in a totally different world than we live in. They live a life of excess. They jump on their private jet and they go off to, I don't know, pick a country. They go off to Bora Bora for lunch. You and I don't do that. I had an apple for lunch today. I don't know what you had. Well, I went out to breakfast, so all I needed for lunch was an apple. But I'm going to have a big dinner tonight. I'm going to have ham steak, baked potatoes, and green beans. I know because I went to the grocery store and bought all those things. Okay. Yeah. When was the last time you think a millionaire was in a grocery store? It didn't happen. No. They live a totally different life than we do. These guys, they could not survive the way that we do. They don't know how. I saw years ago in in the casino industry. I saw a casino mogul. He had decided to buy a helicopter. So the casino had to build a landing pad for his helicopter so he could get to and from work. And he flies that helicopter and he comes into work, and 2 hours later he called it a day. It was a 2-hour work day. I know you and I are doing 8. We're looking for overtime so that we can make a little bit of scratch, right? All our lives, right? These clowns, 2 hours. That's as long as they can make it, right? Had to have a helipad for his 2 hours. Well, he's a very important man. He's due on the golf course. Okay. Yeah. Millionaires and billionaires, they can't do what we do. They don't know how. Take a look at Trump's cabinet right now. All right. We all saw him on inauguration. They were all sitting up there in the front row. Millionaires, billionaires, more money than, you can ever imagine, right? A lot of them took jobs in Trump's cabinet. They're not going to last. They can't. They don't know how. They couldn't hold down a job if they had to. It's really basic. They don't have the work ethic that we have. They've never had that work ethic. They wouldn't recognize it if they saw it. Think about it. If you're a billionaire, can you go into work and work a 40-hour week, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5? No. Why not? Well, on Monday, your buddies are on the golf course. Oh, Wednesday, they're on the golf course. Oh, Friday, they're on the golf course. Well, you got to have your weekends free so you can go to St. Martin or, another island. They're too spoiled. They've never had to work. They'll never be able to work. Not like you and I. They're too pampered. Some of these clowns would be lucky to make the first of the year. The millionaires and billionaires in Trump's cabinet, they're going to start dropping like flies. Here's why. They took these jobs so that they could accomplish something, whether it was to end an investigation or reduce the size of a department or wheel and deal and cut some side deal to line their own pockets. And these guys are go-getters. They're going to take care of business right away. So the first 6 months, they changed everything they needed to change. Got rid of everybody they needed to get rid of. Stole everything they could steal, right? Now what? Do you think they can still come in and go to work No. I'm sorry. Everybody else is going to fly off in the private jet and go to lunch somewhere. They've got to go with their buddies. No one else would hang out with them. Okay? Seriously, they just wouldn't do it. it's sad, but it's true. They've got to go to Bora Bora with their cronies. That's the excitement that they want. They don't want to go to work 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. No way. They can't put in the same hours that you and I have put in our entire lives. They don't know how. They're too busy to work. You think they're in there for the money? They're in there for the money they can steal. Okay. They're not there for the paycheck. They make more laying on a beach somewhere. Okay. They're on a private yacht. Okay. Gotta go out on the yacht and go dancing with my buddies. No, these Trump's cabinet will clean itself out within, I'll say, the next 14 months. By the end of the midterm elections in 26, they'll all be gone, and he'll have a new bunch of cronies. He'll trade them in, and he'll get, placeholders. That's all they'll be for the second half of his term, is he'll just put little placeholders in those slots. Pretend like you're doing something. Yeah, they're too busy, these rich guys. They can't stay on the job. Look at Elon Musk. He came in, he was running Doge. Where is he now? Oh, he's back at Tesla. And he'll work a week at Tesla, he'll get burned out, and then he'll have to go to SpaceX. He'll work a couple of weeks at SpaceX and then get burned out, and he'll have to go back to Tesla. Next thing you know, he'll be starting a brand new company. Okay? They don't have the attention span. No, they wanted the power, they got the power, and now they're going to get bored with this level of power. Well, it's not enough power. It can't satisfy them. Look at it like an eating disorder. They can't get enough. Okay. This world to them is a playground. It's not a job. It's not a responsibility. It's a toy. And they're going to get bored with their current toy, and then they'll trade it in. They'll move on to something else. It's kind of hilarious when you stop and think about it. It reminds me of my last child when he was 4 years old. Got an attention span that lasts about an hour. And then he's got to move on to something else. Okay. That's what is going to happen to all these billionaires and millionaires that are currently befuddling our government. They're all going to move on. They got to find something else. They're going to be bored. When they first get into the job, they're all excited about it. Oh, I get to destroy this. Yeah. It's pathetic. Meanwhile, my profession, I was 30 plus years, 33 years. And it's like, my father, for example, he worked in the factories here in Michigan. He was a machinist. He probably has forgotten more about metallurgy than I'll ever know. Well, he's 87 now. But, all of his life, he held 4 journeyman's guards. That in itself should tell you he was top of his field, right? He considered himself the provider. He was on the job every day, all day. Worked with the unions. He did it all, the whole package. A lot to be proud of. These millionaires, they don't have that kind of a work ethic. They're not that good at what they do. They can hire people that are good, but they're not good. No, most of these clowns that are in our government are just there to enrich themselves. That's all. They don't have a feeling of patriotism like we do. They don't have a feeling of responsibility like you and I do. It never enters their mind. Oh, people are depending on me. No, they don't think that way. They don't know how. They never had to. I mean, well, look at President Trump. He was born into money, been in money his whole life. If he ever lost all his money, he'd probably do himself in. He wouldn't know how to survive. He couldn't work a 40-hour week if his life depended on it. I'm sorry. And I'm not just trying to pick on Trump. We can put them all in that category. They get into public life to make money, to have power, to be famous. That's all they care about. They don't care about the American people. If they did, we would have health care. Think about that. We got a Republican president, Republican-controlled Senate, Republican-controlled House, Republican-controlled Supreme Court. Why don't we have health care for all Americans? All these other countries have health care for all their citizens. All of them. We don't. We don't have health care because they don't care about us. We don't matter. We are not their priority. Okay. I'm sorry to break this to you, but it's the truth. If you'd like to change the subject, feel free to jump in the chat. Otherwise, we're stuck with wherever my little mind drifts. Okay. I just, in my opinion, I have very little respect for these people that have money. I'm not saying that a couple of them didn't work hard and earn, but I'm saying that they don't have the same moral and ethical fiber that you and I have. If we were in their position, we would want to do something to help the American people. What would help the American people the most? Universal health care. Health care for all. It's on my mind this week, and I'll tell you why it's on my mind is it's the enrollment period. I have to sign up for one of these I don't know, priority health or whatever. Yeah. You can see I'm real interested in it. Okay. I'm going to listen to my sister. I got a sister that told me about it, and I'm going to sign up to one of these damn programs at some point in the next week here or something. I don't know. Well, I don't need the prescription coverage right now, but I don't have any right now. I don't take any prescriptions per se, so. But I am going to need drug coverage or coverage of some type, so I need to sign up to one of these damn things. I'm on Medicare A and B because I'm an old man, okay? But I need one of these additional dealies. I don't know. Because Medicare A and B is not enough. Because our cost of healthcare is outrageous. Our cost of healthcare is outrageous because it's a for-profit business. For-profit healthcare does not work. That's when you get like we are now, where any day that you have to go to the hospital can cost you $10,000, whether you have it or not. Okay. Keep that in mind. Leading cause of bankruptcy in the United States of America, personal bankruptcy, leading cause, healthcare. It is. Look it up. Okay. You want to disagree, jump in the chat, disagree, but look it up. If they've got the power, if they've got the control, why don't you have health care? Why don't I have health care? Sufficient health care. Why? Because they don't care. They don't need us. They need us to vote them into office, but that's it. They're not representing us. They're representing the corporations that bribed them. I thought about it, but I don't know what the minimum bribe is. That would be a great question for President Trump. What would it take? What's the price to get health care for all Americans? Would it be like a $400 million jet from Qatar? What's the minimum bribe to get us health care? If we paid it, we'd have the health care. Qatar give them the jet, and they get a base and a bunch of fighter jets. in the United States. So if we paid the bribe, we would have health care. Tell us what the bribe amount is. Give us something to shoot for. These guys are all transactional. It's all they care about. That's all they care about is their money. Okay, they don't care about the people. They don't care whether you have health care or not. They have health care. They have anything they ever want, and they always have had. They were born into money, raised with money, and now they got money. Find out what the minimum bribe is. We can start a GoFundMe, achieve our bribe, and then we'll get health care. I don't know how much it's going to cost, but that's the only way we're going to get health care. It's not going to be by electing them. They would rather represent the corporation than the constituent, than the voter. It's almost going the other way. I think they're going to try to give corporations the right to vote, and then they won't even need our votes. They'll just have the corporation vote them in, right? I think that's, the Electoral College has taught them that. Okay. They don't need our votes. They need the Electoral College votes. Well, they're going to give the right to vote to the corporations, and then they won't need the people at all. They'll still take our money. Okay. They'll still shake your hand, give you a big smile, and then they'll go back into the back room and screw you over again. Expect something different? You might be insane. Okay. It's not going to happen. We keep thinking the next group of politicians will be better. Oh, I like that guy. I'll vote him in 30 years in a row. Some of these politicians been in their spot for 30 years. No more incumbents. Next. Okay. Vote them out. Bring in a new batch. Hopefully they'll be less corrupt. Well, if you've had the same senator for 30 years, you're a fool. History has proven it out. Don't just take my word for it. Look it up. History has proven it out. We've had democratically controlled Congress. We've had Republican controlled Congress. And yet we still have no health care. Your grandparents didn't have health care. Your parents didn't have health care. You don't have health care. Your children will not have health care. No, if they gave us health care, we'd all be healthy. Plain and simple. They don't care if you're healthy. They really don't. They don't care your opinion. Doesn't matter to them. They'll lie to you anytime you want. A politician is always willing to stop and tell you a lie. He's never too busy to lie to you. Yeah. Why do people lie? I put some serious thought into that. People lie for 3 reasons: to hide their greed, their shame, and their fear. It could be all 3, it could be any combination, it could be just one. Greed, shame, and fear. That's what they don't want you to see. That's what a lie is. Look at what I'm telling you. Don't look at what you see. Right? None of this should have any weight at all. I mean, they shouldn't be able to control us like this. They do control us in every aspect. They control the news media. We only see what they want to show us. They leave out news. They just forget to report it somehow. It's amazing how that works. Our news media in the United States, what I see on my end of my couch, our news media, the first thing that jumps to mind is they're trying to control us with fear. They're trying to scare us and control us. Second thing, they're trying to divide us. Why do they want to divide us? To make us easier to control, to put us into smaller groups. The smaller group is easier to control than the larger group. They want to manipulate and control everything we do because they can make money off of it. They can show a profit. That's all they care about. Doesn't matter how many lies they tell. To them. I think a lie matters a lot. I never, ever invite a liar into my home. Once I find out you've lied to me, we're done. Sorry. That's the way I choose to live my life. I don't keep murderers around me. I don't keep rapists around me. I don't keep thieves around me. I don't keep liars around me. Why not? Self-preservation. I'm not going to invite that liar into my house. Ever. Okay? It's just not going to happen. Would you like to change the subject? Jump in the chat. You have total control. You just don't realize it yet. What do you want to talk about? I'm watching the news this week. Okay, I apologize. But they shut down the government. So what's on my mind? Getting them out of office. Okay. That's what's on my mind. I would welcome. I mean, let's talk about whatever you want to talk about. You want to talk about, tomato soup and grilled cheese sandwiches? My grandma thought those went together perfectly. she used to dunk her sandwich into her tomato soup. I didn't care for tomato soup, personal opinion, but that was just me. I don't care what we talk about. You pick the subject. Jump in the chat. I don't know. Type in any topic you want to talk about. I don't care what it is. Macaroni and cheese, grilled cheese and tomato soup, politics, government shutdown. I don't care. I don't have a preference, and I'm not trying to make this show about any particular topic. That's not my goal here. I do not wish to manipulate or control anyone. Ever. Okay? But I can tell you what I see, and I can tell you what's on my mind. Jump in the chat anytime you like. Tell me what you see. Tell me what's on your mind. What would be the top of your priority list that you would like to discuss today? The crime in America? You think it's pretty bad. It's not. I know. I'm the only one telling you that. It's just not. Through the history of America, the population that we could consider to be a felon has never been more than 7% of the population ever. In 250 years, it has never been more than 7% of the population. That means 93% of us aren't killing people, aren't raping people, aren't stealing from people, aren't breaking any laws. 93% of us. During the Civil War, at the birth of America, less than 7% of the population was criminal. During the 60s, when you saw the race riots and the whole Civil Rights Act came up, and women got the right to vote, and all men were created equal, and never more than 7% of the population was criminal. To this day, never more than 7% of our population is criminal. If you watch the news, you got a different idea. Why? Because they're trying to scare you, to manipulate you. Trump's rolling in the troops. There's too much crime in Portland, too much crime in Chicago, too much crime in Washington, D.C. It's an act. It's not true. Okay. It's not. Do a Google search. What percentage of the U.S. population can be considered a felon? How do you think I found that out? I did that Google search years ago. It's not true. They're using your fears to control and manipulate you. They want you to be afraid. Because it's easier to control you with fear. Think about it. They're telling the Democrats You must fear the Republicans. They're telling the Republicans, you must fear the Democrats. Why? Well, they're conspiring against. No, they're not. How do I know they're not? I'm sitting here on my couch and I'm not conspiring against anyone. Are you? Are you plotting a murder? I'm not. It would never enter my mind as a possibility. I don't think of hurting anyone any day. Never. Okay. Normal people don't do this. If you are plotting a murder, you need some help. You've been radicalized, honey. Go get some counseling. It's not normal. We're not sitting around plotting against one another. We're trying to go to work. We're trying to pay our bills. We're trying to raise our children. We're trying to enjoy our life. We're too busy. Okay? We're not sitting around trying to figure out how to rob the Louvre. It's just not happening. But if you turn on the news, any channel, it's all crime. It's all bad. No, it's not. Step outside your front door and point to the criminal. You can't. Well, the troops are rolling in on Portland. No. The troops are not rolling in on Portland in the ghettos where the crime is happening. The troops are rolling into the business district. What? Yeah, it makes no sense. When they put the troops in LA, were they in the residential? No, they were in the business district. When the troops were in DC, were they in the residential? No, not where the people are. They were in the business district. It's all for show. Why were they in the business district? Because that's where you and I go to conduct our business. So we can see them. They didn't put the troops in the slum. They didn't put the troops in the ghetto. They didn't put the troops in the alley that you're afraid to walk down at 3 o'clock in the morning. The troops were not there. The troops were at the federal building. How much crime goes down at your local federal building? None. They do this to control and manipulate and divide us. Their worst nightmare is when we join hands, when we join forces. Democrat, Republican, Independent, and even the guy that doesn't vote at all. When they join hands, they have power. They don't want us to have any power. We want you to not only dislike the other party, we want you to fear the other party. Fear is going to trigger a response in you. That's why they're playing on your fears. I went to breakfast this morning with my father. I did not see any crime. I did not see any criminals. Let me tell you why. with 7% of the 340 million population, that 7% that is criminal, 2 million of those guys are already behind bars. They're in federal prison, state prison, county jails, city jails. They're already behind bars. They're locked up. I can guarantee you, I don't know what town you live in America, but I can guarantee you your police force outnumbers your criminals. How do I know that? Look at the facts. Look them up. Look at it this way. A 20-year-old goes out and he steals a car. He gets arrested. He gets sent to jail. Is he going to be a lifelong criminal? Odds are no. Why not? Well, he didn't like jail. That's why not. That career-long criminal, yeah, of the 7% that are felons, the career criminal, less than 1%. And what happens when the other bad guys shoot him? That's what happens. Bad guys shoot bad guys. Good guys shoot bad guys. Everybody feels free to shoot the bad guys. So what's their life expectancy? They're not going to be career criminals. What you're seeing on TV when you're watching John Wick is all fiction. Are there hitmen in the world? Well, yes, there are. But there's not going to be a hitman forever. That 20-year-old gets out of jail for stealing that car, and now he has to get a job. After he gets a job, what happened? Oh, he gets a girl pregnant. Oh, he's got kids, a family. He's got responsibilities. He's got something vested into not going back to jail. He's not going to be a career criminal. He learned his lesson, and now he reintegrates into society. That it's a fantasy world if you think every one of those kids that makes a mistake is going to be a lifelong career criminal. It's not going to happen. Is a criminal going to have the same life expectancy that you and I have with his lifestyle? I don't think so. Odds on him making it 75 years, slim and none, and Slim already left town. Ain't going to happen. Is there crime in the United States of America? Yes, there is. But it's not as prevalent as our news media wants you to believe. They want you to be scared so that you don't team up, so that you are in smaller groups. When you're in smaller groups, they find it easier to control and manipulate you. Personal opinion. Feel free to jump in the chat and disagree. We can discuss it. How do I know that the criminal doesn't stay a criminal? Take a look. The facts are out there. They're not all career criminals. Some of them go to prison at a young age for very heinous crimes, and they stay there for a long, long time. But the guy that just got out of prison after doing 40 years is not in any kind of hurry to go back. Holy crap. Life can be good. We've got cell phones now. We've got streaming on TV. The world has changed since 40 years ago when he broke the law. It's a whole new world to him, and he don't want to go back to prison. Why? It's not a nice place. That guy that just got out after 40 years, he's going to be walking the straight and narrow. Why? Well, all of his criminal buddies from 40 years ago are all gone. They're dead or they're in prison. They didn't make it in our society. You cannot make it in our society if you're a criminal. Crime does pay right up until the point where it doesn't pay anymore. They want you to be scared so that they can control you. So every time you turn on the news, all you're going to see is the bad guys. They shouldn't even call it news now. They should call it the bad guy parade. They're not telling you all the good. It doesn't make the news when one neighbor helps another neighbor. I had one a couple of weeks ago, my friend Crumbelina. She was out and about running errands and accidentally locked her keys and her phone in her car. She didn't know what to do. She couldn't call nobody, didn't have a phone. What'd she do? She stood there outside her car staring at it, trying to figure out what to do. What happened? Oh, a good Samaritan pulls up, finds out her problem, drives her home so she can get her spare key. Then he drives her back so that she can get back in her car and get to her phone. Then she tries to give him gas money and he refuses the gas money. Why? Because he was a good Samaritan. Why wasn't that good Samaritan on the news? Well, because they can't control and manipulate you if they're telling you that everybody's a good Samaritan. We're all good Samaritans. Are you polite? I'm polite. Are you courteous? I'm courteous. We're all polite. We're all courteous. Can somebody be having a bad day? Well, yeah, they could be. Maybe he's not polite on Monday, but Tuesday through next Sunday, he'll be polite. They want you to think that it's all doom and gloom. They want you to be afraid so that they can control you and manipulate you. How many times have you seen a politician, I'm tough on crime? Why? Because he knows that will result in you voting for him because they scared you with the news. Don't let people control and manipulate you. Rise above it. Take a look around. There's not a man on every corner in America with a machine gun looking to kill you. It's not the case. Is there crime in America? Yes, there is. Are there a few career criminals in America? Yes, there are. But they get thrown in jail. And they're not just doing the weekend. That convicted killer he's doing a lot more than a weekend in jail, honey. Okay? It's absurd. But this is what it is they're doing this to control and manipulate. They want to scare you. And then they're going to stand up there and say, well, I'm the only one that can save you. I'm the only one that can keep you and your family safe. Bullshit. I've been keeping my family safe for years. You didn't have spit to do with it. Do we have crime in America? Yes, we do. Are we supposed to be living in fear? No, we're not. Why? We control our fears. A little bit of fear is good. Too much fear is bad. Too much fear, you're going to curl up in the corner in the fetal position, and you're not going to have any quality of life at all. You're afraid to go out your front door. Don't let them control you. Don't let your fear rage out of control. Mature adults learn to control their fears. The little child is afraid of the dark. There might be a monster in my closet, Daddy. Can you look under my bed? As the child grows and matures, they learn to control the fears. Now they're not afraid of what's in the closet. They're not afraid to look under the bed, right? Control your fears. Do not let your fears control you. Your hatred is part of your uncontrolled fear, in my opinion. You can't get to hatred without uncontrolled fear. Excuse me. Think about it. You got dislike. You got disagreement. How do you get to hate? From dislike or disagreement, how do you get to the end result of hate? Simple. Add uncontrolled fear. I don't fear anyone. Thus, I do not hate anyone. You cannot have hate without having uncontrolled fear, in my opinion. Feel free to jump in the chat and disagree. It's my personal belief that those Democrats or those Republicans that they're telling you should fear, he's a radical. He wants to have civil war. He wants to kill you. No, he doesn't. He wants to live his life. You cannot fear uncontrolled. A little bit of fear is a good thing, can keep you alive. That's why we have it. A little bit of fear is going to keep you from stepping off the edge of the Grand Canyon. A little bit of fear is going to keep you from walking down that dark alley at 3 o'clock in the morning. Too much fear is going to keep you curled up in the corner of your apartment or your home, afraid to go outside, afraid to live your life. Where's your quality of life if you're letting your fears control your life? They used to tell us, oh, fear the American Indian. Oh, fear the black man. Oh, fear the Latino. Oh, now fear the transgender. Yeah, they're going after your kids. No, they're not. They're not going after your kids. They're trying to live their life. Leave them alone. Well, that guy's in a militia. He's out in the woods running around with a loaded gun in his pajamas. So what? Leave him alone. You got to live and let live, people. So he's running around the woods in his pajamas with a loaded gun. Who cares? Leave the man alone. Well, that man's wearing a dress. So leave him alone. Well, I don't like the way that guy mows his lawn. So leave him alone. You got to live and let live. You got to allow people to be individuals. While we all have common ground, and we do have common ground, whether they want you to think about it or not, let me ask you, does a Republican love his parents? Well, yeah. Does an independent love his parents? Well, yeah. Does a Democrat love his parents? Well, yeah. Holy crap, we all love our parents. Common ground. We're a lot alike in many ways. Do you think all three categories love their children? Well, yeah, I'm sure they love their children. Ooh, more common ground. Do you want your children to have a better life than you've had? Well, yeah. Oh, more common ground. Duh. We're a lot alike, but yet we're all individuals. I choose to wear long hair and a beard. Ooh, scary. You may choose to have short hair and be clean shaven. Ooh, scarier. No. You're allowed to be an individual. I have to leave you alone. I'm allowed to be an individual. You have to leave me alone. Allow me to be unique, and I'll allow you to be unique. Our society has a set of laws that we all must operate within. Granted, that goes for the guy that's never voted in his entire life. That goes for the independent. That goes for the Republican. And that goes for the Democrat. All four. All four have a right to be left alone. Live and let live. I guarantee you, when push comes to shove, the dam breaks, the tornado hits, that whatever the natural disaster, that guy that you think you're afraid of because his skin color is different than yours, or you're worried about the fact that he's wearing a red hat, is not going to matter. Because that same guy that you're afraid of, that you've been told that you must hate, he's going to be standing shoulder to shoulder with you, helping you. He's an American, and we always do the right thing. If you and I are in a boat cruising through the floodwater and we see a person drowned or about to drown, we're going to go over and we're going to pull them out and pull them into our boat. Doesn't matter what their religion is. Why are we going to pull them out of the boat or pull them into the boat? Because it's the right thing to do. That's what all Americans do. We all try to do the right thing to do. Every time. If there's a tornado and the neighbor kids sitting in the front yard playing with your kids, and you go out and you get your kids and you say, come in the house. We got to go to the basement. The tornado's coming. And the neighbor kid says, my parents aren't home. What are you going to do? You're going to bring that child with your children into the basement, and you're going to try to get a hold of his parents and let them know that he's safe and where he's at, right? It's the right thing to do. You and I always do the right thing. All Americans do the right thing. You can rely on it. Excuse me. Look at whatever natural disaster hits. Everybody that's working together to try to save each other and save what property they can, they're all Americans. That Democrat, he's an American. That Republican, he's an American. The Independent, he's an American too. When push comes to shove, your hate is not going to save you. Your uncontrolled fears are not going to save you. When push comes to shove, your fellow American will be there with you, helping you. He's on your team, whether you realize it or not. You've got to live and let live. It's not your place to micromanage him and tell him how to live. And you do not need to fear him. That guy running around the woods with the loaded gun in his pajamas, that's the guy that could shoot the deer and feed us all and keep us from starving, keep us from going to bed hungry. Think about that. It's not your business to tell him what to do on his day off. It's not your place to try to control or manipulate him. You've got no business doing it. The same way he can't come into your house and say, well, you have to own a gun and you have to get in camouflage and come out and play in the woods. He can't force you to do spit. It's not his place. It's not your place to force him to do anything either. We can all get along. Peaceful coexistence. Our nation's been doing it for years. I don't care how many times they tell you that Republican's a bad guy. He's not. I don't care how many times they tell you that Democrat is a bad guy. He's not. I don't care how many times they tell you that guy that refused to vote his entire lifetime is a bad guy. He's not a bad guy. He's just trying to live his life, and we need to leave the man alone. It's none of my business how you mow your lawn. If I mow mine north and south and you mow yours east and west, I got no business walking over trying to tell you how to mow your lawn. I need to be thankful I've got a neighbor that mows his lawn. Okay? Live and let live. This is personal opinion. It's all I can offer you. But I'm telling you, your fellow American is not your enemy. As a matter of fact, Canadians not your enemy. The Mexicans not your enemy. The Russians not your enemy. Do we disagree with the Russian government and their act? Well, yes. I'm not talking about the government. I'm talking about the Russian people. They're just trying to live. They're not sitting around conspiring. Are you sitting around conspiring? I'm not. Normal people don't do this type of thing. Normal people are just trying to live their life and have quality of life. It's global. Are there bad guys in some of these other countries? Yes, there are. But not the numbers that you think, and it's not the everyday people. While I was working in Vegas, I met a lot of people from Russia. They were nice. Used to give me tips. I met people from Iran. They were nice. Used to give me tips. I met people from every country on this planet, and they were all nice. They're not sitting around conspiring. Oh, I gotta get this guy, Ghost Mostly. No. They're just trying to live their lives and get the best value from them that they can. The same as you and I. We need to live and let live. It's not your place to micromanage me. You cannot tell me how to live my life. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. And on the same token, I cannot tell you how to live your life. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. I must find a way to peacefully coexist with you. I need to leave you alone. Okay? I'm going to leave you alone, and I'm going to let you do your thing without my advice. Right up to the point till you ask for my help. When you ask for my help with something, I'm going to feel free to give you advice. But it's not going to be in a destructive way. It's not going to be in a hateful way. Excuse my coughing. I'm not going to try to hurt you. I'm not going to try to lash out at you. That's not who I am. Live and let live. Allow everyone to be a unique individual. And we can do that and still live within the confines of our laws, right? We can talk both sides of a conversation on YouTube without offending the community guidelines. We can have a discussion without pissing off YouTube. Isn't that the same way that people all live under the same set of laws? Peaceful coexistence. That's all I'm preaching here. Allow everyone to be different. It's okay. It's not your place to sit in judgment over others. If you want to sit in judgment over others, you got some issues coming. If you want to sit in judgment and try to tell people how to live their life, you're in for some disappointment. You cannot micromanage people. You got kids? Try telling your child who he can or cannot date. You're not going to get very far. They may lie to you to get you off their back, but they're never going to listen. They're going to date whoever they damn well please, whether you like it or not. It's none of your business who they date. You cannot control other people. You cannot pick and choose for other people. You cannot threaten other people. In our society, you cannot hit another person. Every one of us can make a fist with our hand, but you got no right to hit nobody. We have laws against that in our society. We all have to coexist. There's only the one planet. And you do not have a right to kick anyone off. And vice versa. No one has the right to kick you off. Live and let live. Don't try to pick and choose for other people. Try to be more tolerant. You don't know what's on another guy's plate. You don't know what stresses he's dealing with. Maybe he's got 3 jobs and you just caught him on the wrong day. Cut the man some slack. Leave him alone. Let him live his own life. And he should in turn let you live your own life. Do you want somebody walking over you and nitpicking you and your choices, your decisions that you've made in your life? I don't think so. Have I made decisions in my life that were wrong? Have I made poor choices from time? Well, yes, I have. And what happened when I did? Oh, I learned my lesson and I moved forward. So that person that you would like to judge, you would like to micromanage, he will learn his own lesson and he will move forward. If not today, tomorrow. Live and let live. Allow people to make their own mistakes. You cannot save them from making every mistake. It can't happen. You don't know what that person's dealing with. What you do know is what you're dealing with. And you can make a conscious decision to be more patient with others, to be more understanding with others, to be more compassionate with others, right? That you can control. I understand I'm the only one on TV right now that's openly attempting to unite all peoples. I understand. I see what's out there. The show's name is Afternoon Chat. I'm your host, Ghost Mostly. I'm here Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Everyone is welcome in this discussion. This is not an exclusive club. It's the opposite. This is an inclusive club. I want people from all over the planet to be able to come in here and speak freely. We'll keep it decent so that we're not offending people, but we can have a discussion and we can talk about anything. As long as we stay within the community guidelines that YouTube has established, we'll be fine. But I want you to think about live and let live. Don't judge others. Be patient with others. Be understanding. You don't know what that man's going through. Maybe he just left one good friend's funeral and he's on his way to another good friend's funeral. And you caught him right in the middle. You don't know what's on his plate. You don't know what he's dealing with. So cut him some slack. It's okay if he's a little abrupt today. I understand. I've been abrupt in the past myself from time to time. It happens to us all. Sometimes the pressures get too much, and as human beings, we like to lash out. We need to lash out in order to stay sane. If we cut each other a little bit of leeway, guess what? It doesn't have to be a fist fight. It could just be a disagreement. And what's wrong with that? Feel free to disagree with me or agree with me any day, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5. I'm here and you're welcome here. Okay? I'm your host, Ghost Mostly. I thank you for joining me today. I do appreciate you. I appreciate you very much. It would help out the algorithm. It would help out the channel if you could like and subscribe. But if you can't do it, don't worry about it. No pressure. I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here. Today's been Thursday, and I appreciate you for joining me on Thursday. I'll be back on Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Please join me. We'll have a chat. Thank you for your time. Be nice to everybody. I think that if you're always nice to everyone, that niceness, that kindness will come back to you tenfold. Personal opinion. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks.